wonderful, exciting episode of AnotherView with Amarachi. As usual, I am Amarachi AGK, and I have the beautiful ladies with me in the house. Oge Anu. We have Olake Shibomowo, and today we have a very beautiful mom. She's pretty young. She's a mom of two. A registered nurse here. She lives with her family here in Regina. Chidima Inechi. Welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
she's very fun to be with. So you're in for a very good ride. Yeah. Like I always say, this is the platform where we share personal experiences as African immigrants living in Canada. So today we're going to tell it all on our betting experience. You know, childbearing here for us in Canada. I know there's a lot of difference, and this has nothing to do with just Africa or, you know, stuff like that, but we're here to tell it all. So stay with us. It promises to be very, very interesting. On to that. Did any of you actually take antenatal classes here in Canada?
Okay, so I attended for like 2 days and I stopped. I'm like, I don't think I need it. I didn't find the class so exciting. I've heard about people talk about, oh, this is very interesting, antenatal classes, but when I checked, I had to pay about $100 or so.
For the interesting one?
Yeah, and I didn't want to pay. We have free resources, so I wanted to utilize that. But after my second class, no, I didn't go back.
For your second baby, did you?
No. No, because experience is the best teacher.
Yeah. So. Did you attend antenatal classes here?
So for me, I didn't feel the need to attend antenatal classes because of my background. Mm-hmm. However, there are antenatal classes here and they're free. So, wherever you are, if you really need them, because I would recommend them for like new moms, like people who have no idea of what to expect with the whole birthing process or with the hospital you're going to be at or whatever. I think that it will be really helpful. But for me,
the first and second one?
Nope. I'm a YouTube person, so I just go on YouTube and just watch and like do my own research. I like to research stuff a lot, so I just do my own research and whatever. So
yeah, I don't feel like I didn't have any other kids here, but I'm sure you have wonderful stories to tell us about birthing your babies in Nigeria.
I didn't have any of my babies here, but back in Nigeria, I did research, like she said, and I found Baby Center, and it was good. Like I got week by week updates on what to expect, and they were accurate. And then there were also a lot of videos, even for childbirth, for vaginal birth, for C-section. Everything was on there, so I was good for that. For the second one, I did attend, and it was beautiful.
Tell me.
They will encourage us to come with our husbands, and the doctor was very funny, very practical, and I enjoyed it.
We used to dance.
I enjoyed it.
And this is in Nigeria?
Yes, we used to dance. Like there used to be like a music that they form, like they just put those music together to kind of explain the process of birth. So it's not like in the regular music, it's about childbirth. You have to remember the steps of breathing through that song. You remember? It was fun. Antenatal classes for me in Nigeria was fun.
In addition to what she said about you said what app did you use again?
Baby Center.
What to Expect is actually a really
what to expect.
It's a really good app that
for my second baby, What to Expect came through too. That's a good one. I think I know people always like, oh, they don't have antenatal classes. So you hear that there are antenatal classes here. There are free ones if you have money to pay. Maybe if you want to dance too.
And check with your health authority. They have free resources that a lot of us don't tap into. So try to tap into the free resources first before you check out the...
How was your birthing experience here? How did the facility here in Canada help?
Smooth sailing. It was good. I had doctors and nurses at my beck and call.
For both births?
For both births, yes. So I had super, because I've heard stories, about nurses in Nigeria, but the nurses here were so amazing, so nice. I know I was going through the labor pain, and one of the nurses brought this brown bag to blow in, and I was like, leave me alone. I said, I don't need this. Give me epidural. After my birth, I talked to her. She said, oh, no, that's fine. I understand.
Oh, you felt you were rude?
I felt I was rude to her. And she said, no, that's okay. Don't take that to heart. Because I literally snapped at everyone. My mom, my husband. I'm like, I need epidural. epidural, give me the epidural. So it was good, and the equipment, I felt relaxed. I felt, my life was in a very safe hands. Everything there was working. They didn't have to use phone touch to deliver the baby. So it was good. I felt really relaxed. I felt at home.
Yeah, how was it for you?
For me, I had a really good birthing experience on both sides. With my first child, I had a C-section. My second child, that was an emergency C-section. And my second child, I had vaginal birth. And on both ends, they were really, really good because with emergency C-section, I had really knowledgeable staff taking care of me. I mean, once my daughter's heart rate decelerated, everybody was on it. I mean, there was a nurse poking me with an IV, somebody prepping me for the OR, the doctor explaining everything. So I just felt like everybody was on their A game. And like they knew that, this girl is gonna survive.
Yeah,
the baby is gonna
survive.
be on, And then with the vaginal birth, like it was so good because my physician following me and my OB, I and him were able to create a birthing plan. Okay, so with my experience from my first baby, I was scared because, I had a C-section experience. So I was scared that, oh my God, I would have that experience again. So I relayed that to my physician, and then we were able to create a birthing plan. If this goes wrong, we do this next, and we do this next. So just having that birthing plan reduced my anxiety.
Did you feel listened to at any point? Like,
yes, I felt like my physician was very attentive. Even in situations where, I would say, okay, I'm really adamant about having the C-section and all of that, he would explain to me why he is recommending what he's recommending. And with that, I would also do my research, and I'll be like, okay, you know what he's saying, he has a point, So I really had a very good experience, and that made me go into the labor room confident, knowing that we had a plan if anything goes wrong.
Experience for that case? You had both kids in Nigeria. I'm just quiet. I don't want to say anything yet.
I'm so happy hearing you guys talk about, it was good, it was good. For both my babies, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. The first one, I was grossly mismanaged. I had preeclampsia, and it took, another doctor to step in and say, if this baby doesn't come out now, you're likely to go into seizure. It was that bad. Wow. So I didn't have a really good experience with the first one. For the second one, though, I'd taken learnings from that. I went to the best hospital. I mean, it was one of the best. And it didn't come cheap too, though, And so I had very high expectations. Yeah. The antenatal class was beautiful. They told me I was going to have an anesthetic. The OB-GYN was going to be there. My doctor would be there. There would be a pediatrician. I was expecting a minimum of 7 people to be there when I'm giving birth.
On the promises.
And then and this was something that was pre-scheduled because I was to be induced. I mean, we had a plan. I'm coming in this night. You induce me. And then I was induced and everybody disappeared, like literally. Nobody was coming to check to say, how are you progressing and everything. And I'm not, I'm a very calm person. I don't do drama, even in the labor room. It's like, I was feeling the pain, but I would go to the nurse and I think she had, this stereotype of, if you're really in pain, we'll know, you don't need to tell us, that kind of attitude.
Okay.
But it got to a point I had to go and stand my ground, like, this baby is coming. And then they took me to the floor where the delivery ward is. Wow. And the midwife checked me and she started calling for all the doctors. Nobody, they couldn't reach anybody. Just one nurse delivered my baby. I had cots, I had to be on that table for close to an hour before a doctor showed up to stitch me up. So it wasn't good, but well,
my eyes are literally
so it wasn't good, and that's just me. And I know people go through worse situations than that. So
I think for me, I really try to shy away from childbirth topics because it kind of makes me really emotional. It gets to me really badly because I've had a fair share of issues with childbirth. I lost a child at 40 weeks. 40 plus weeks, because when it was time, when it was 9 months, it's 38 weeks, Victor told the doctor, like, it's time to bring out the baby. Let's just bring out the baby. Let's just bring out the baby. And he said the baby is fine. You don't need to bring out the baby. 40 weeks plus. And guess what? The day he's scheduled for the baby to come out, like the day I'm supposed to be induced, that morning the baby died. That was why I asked you, like, your plans. Did you ever feel like your doctor listened to you? This doctor is a family friend, so I didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
It's a pain that I don't even know. It never goes away, honestly. It doesn't go away, particularly because sometimes you feel it could be avoided.
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe the baby could have died even, I don't know, but sometimes you give room to just listen. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So that experience was very terrible. Very, very, very terrible for me. It affected my family. Everybody was losing their mind. But when I was pregnant for my first son, now it was in Nigeria, a different hospital, and I had fun. Maybe because I worked in that hospital, like I would say, I got the preferential treatment because I worked there. Like it felt like heaven. They took good care of me. The nurses, the nurses were there. They allowed Victor, it was good. I have to say that it was good. The nurses were there. But guess what? When it was time for baby, like you said, there was nobody. Yeah. So apparently the doctor who put in the induction medicine, I don't know what that's called, the tablets.
Okay, it's called a Severdil.
Something like that. They put that in. He didn't put it properly in. So he wasn't even doing anything. Wow. So a doctor who, my gynae, who wasn't scheduled to be on duty that day, just took his wife to the hospital and felt like, I'm bored at home. Let me just go to the clinic and see what's happening there, just to look around. And then he came in, and the next thing, Amarachi, you're still here? And he checked, the baby had pooped. So I would have lost my first son again.
Oh my
That's why the preferential
Lord.
treatment. He was so mad. He was upset. Like, why would you do this without checking this lady this long? And that was where, just on that table there, he said, we are bringing out your baby now. We're not going to let this pattern repeat itself again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, God came through. Yeah. So it's there, but the treatment, the facility was awesome. It was very awesome. I had my baby at FMC where it was good, the bed, the space, maybe because I worked there then, but I think I liked that. But the part where the doctors disappear, it's something I still don't
understand how a doctor would induce a patient and not follow up.
Thank you.
With checking the baby, with checking contractions, with checking heart rates.
I don't think back home they even do all that checking for the baby.
They do.
Maybe the initial stage. No, but I mean here, they're constantly
monitoring until the baby comes out.
Oh yeah. When they're monitoring you, they don't. The nurses come in, they check you.
And once you're induced, the fetal monitoring, there's a protocol that
I didn't have that because if I did, then someone would have noticed that whatever medication didn't even get to where it's supposed to get to. So let's talk about the perception of cesarean section. Okay. I know the thing is, this is very big. We are tired of saying these things. We see it on social media. People are preaching it, but we cannot stop emphasizing on it. Yeah. Do you think that like the women we have here now still have the perception of cesarean section being an issue?
I'm going to say yes. I had my two boys with CS. My second child, I told my doctor from the onset, I am doing CS. I want it easy, And I've seen a situation whereby someone said to a woman, oh, were you too lazy to push? Was that why you did CS?
Wow.
And I'm gonna say probably they didn't mean it in the
No. I don't think there's any other way to mean that.
So yes, people still hide. I had a baby through CS. They hide it. They lie. Yes, people still lie because they just feel, if I say I have a baby through CS,
they'll be judged.
There are some people out there that is going to judge me.
You're not woman enough.
You're not woman enough to push your baby out.
Do you still see things like that though?
I'm totally of the opinion that you just have to do what's good for you and what's good for your baby. As long as the outcome is going to be good, the mom is going to be healthy and fine, baby is healthy and fine. Do what suits you. All right. For me, like I said said before, I had a baby. I had my first baby via C-section and the other via vaginal birth. And I was just at the, like, with both experiences, we're doing what was best for the baby and what was best for mommy. So I'm not of that opinion.
And I think this is the reason why, there's like so much rise in, baby and mother death in Africa. Because I think for like, where would you come from? Why do you think these things are happening?
So for me, I think there's a huge knowledge gap because if you as a person understand what it entails, maybe you've watched a video, you've read something about it, you wouldn't be so, against it. I think to a large extent, most women who fall victim, they don't even have a clue. So if you don't know about something and then someone is saying, oh, it's bad. And we have this African culture of if you see people running, just join them and run, You don't ask questions.
Just keep running.
So most people just follow the trend. Oh, they say it's bad. Don't do CS. And then it just becomes a pattern. So I think knowledge gap is one huge factor. Another one is, as Africans, we have this mindset of, if it's not difficult, it's not worth it. Like everything just has to be a struggle. So even the concept of if you are, you just have to,
show
that
how
pain.
strong you are.
It's part of being a woman. That's how you prove your worth. I think that's another thing. Our mothers groom us, kind of to prepare for that pain. So when you get to it and you're being given an out, it feels like it's taken away from me being a woman, kind of.
Things change. So I'm just saying that the reason we're putting this out there is, please, bring out your baby and be alive.
Yeah.
And so the baby can also have a mom. And the baby can, be alive too. If the doctor says you're going to go for cesarean section, it's not evil. I don't know if
it's a medical
saying it very well.
To save the mom and the baby
nowadays, and even I'm sure mosque would do it as well. There are sessions where we talk about these things because we have also lost a lot of people. And there's no reason losing someone when there is an alternative.
And I don't think any doctor finds any pleasure in saying that you're going to go for a C-section. I don't think, it doesn't matter. What he or she is trying to say to you is, I need you to be alive and your baby will be alive. It will make him happy and make your family happy too. So let's make wise decisions. Before we go to the next questions, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us, guys. Let's talk about pain management. Let me say my own view first before you guys, because everybody's gonna be, take away the pain, take away the pain, take away pain. Honestly, I was very scared when I Googled epidural. I know people will say Google is not your friend when you're talking about health, but you can't help not. I was really scared, there were lots and lots of experiences online that were scary. People had issues with their back, people had issues with their hip, people had issues with their brain. I even had someone here who told me that she regretted taking epidural because after then she developed a terrible migraine that she doesn't know if that migraine will ever go. Cool. She wasn't so sure if it's attached to the epidural, but from her own research and what the doctor said, she feels that. So I am for it, no matter what. I'm still saying it because the pain of childbirth is not your mate. But let me hear you guys. Are we still on that for African women living here? Are we still on that? No epidural. So there are people that by choice just want to try out the natural birth. We're not taking that away, but the concept of someone saying because of one thing other than health and choice is weird to me. So let me hear you guys.
For me, I hate pain in any form or
Zero
size.
tolerance.
However, I would never do epidural in Nigeria. And I'll tell you because I have zero faith in our health system. I mean, somebody is trying to set a line for you. They're there, like it takes like 3 people. One person will try and poke you and poke you, and another person will go. I'm not going to trust you with my spinal cord. I'm sorry. No. Back at home, I wouldn't try epidural, but here, definitely anything to take away the pain, I'm all for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think, okay?
Epidural, give it to me. With my first child, when I was in labor, I was like, give me epidural. They said, but you're not up to 4 centimeters yet. I said, I don't care. Just give it to me. I'm in pain. They said, no, you have to wait. But finally, they consulted the doctor and he said, yeah, no, that's okay. She's in, because I was screaming.
Wow.
I was
Are you supposed to scream as a Nigerian mother?
My sister. At that stage, I wasn't a Nigerian woman anymore.
You forget where you're from.
You know, I wasn't a Nigerian woman anymore. When you're in labor. My mom said that to me, honestly. She said, you cannot scream when you're in labor.
And then it was just because of the nurses, right? They'd be like,
no, my mom wasn't a nurse. She said, no, that if you scream the first time, you tend to scream for all of them. That was what my mom said. Even she said, no, you can't scream, but man, who listened to that when the pain became real?
Well, I said I was snapping at everyone. I said, get me. And they you know, they tried. They gave that paper bag was just something else. I'm like, what is this? I just what is that? Give me epidural. Just give me something.
So you're all for it, right? People should take it, right?
Yes. If you have to, you know, if you're in pain, don't
prove a strong woman if you
don't. It's nothing, because I've heard people say, oh, I was in labor for 24 hours, but I didn't take epidural. I'm like, good job.
For you.
Why do you want to suffer?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go through that pain? It's not worth it. Nobody cares.
And you know, some of the aggression that we also exhibit as women, they're also after effects of all these pains we've gone through. I mean, all of a sudden you just scream at your children and just snap at them. That's not aggression, you know.
Take epidural.
So for me, I have non-traditional people surrounding me. My husband is not traditional. My mom is non-traditional. So I'm big on pain management. That is, you need, like for me, I needed that pain management to relax my body.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I'm not into, you know, you have to feel the pain to know that it's your baby and all of that. No. There's a reason why the hospital makes it an option for you, because they know that some people would need that to actually go through the process. Your body is trying to birth a baby. Okay, you need to relax. Some people need that relaxation of the epidural. Some people have the whole relaxation techniques of deep breathing and all of that, but some people need that extra pain management. So for me, I had to, and my husband was big on it. Even the nurse too was looking at him like, just
be quick. Let her get
it's your wife, because like I told you before, I was on YouTube.
Did you scream?
I was screaming. I was on YouTube Googling all the breathing techniques, hypnobetting, how to
But when the
pain came, my husband was like, "What are you doing? See epidural, no?" And the nurse was like, "You better make a decision now because we have one anesthesiologist. If that person is busy somewhere else, you could progress to the point where you're not able to take an epidural."
Who had that situation?
Right?
You know, it was the first baby. They were new in Canada. She was having a baby, and her mom was like, "Oh, you can do it. I give birth to you. I didn't take epidural. I'm a strong woman. You're a strong woman. You can do it. I'm here. I'll hold you." Man, when the music started, she saw all there is to see in the visionary world. She was screaming, and her husband had told her, like, "You can do this, baby. Take the epidural." The mom was holding her. When the music, when the dance step changed, she was screaming, and guess what? It was late. Her second baby, the moment she got to the hospital, she started telling the nurse, "I had signed the epidural papers already." Can we start? Like, can we guys, please, be informed.
It is painful.
Be informed. And the good thing is the doctors tell you everything you need to know of how it's been administered. You know, it's not just rocket science. So if you have questions, always ask them. The big one, guys, have we come to accept surrogacy as Africans?
Big no.
Are we going to accept it?
We'll get there.
When? So what do you guys think, though? Even with moving from Africa to Canada, do you think we are still open-minded to accept surrogacy here? I want honest answers.
I would say that as first-generation immigrants, I would say no, we're not quite there yet. And the reason is that for a lot of us, there's still people who still have the mindset of, if it doesn't work here, I'm going home, you know. For our children, we'll rarely say that. I mean, if you even have if you ask the youngest of them, where you're from, a lot of them are saying they're from Canada even now. So by the time they're old, for them, things will have changed. And the reason I say that is, let's even leave surrogacy out, even something as IVF.
Adoption, too.
Adoption. We're not even open to those things. And it all boils down to our culture of, you know, prove if you're a man. It's the number of children you're able to have. Preferably if there's a boy in the mix, you know. So it's that all, you know. So if you're now saying somebody else is carrying the baby, they'll start asking you questions. So if somebody else carried the baby, where is the baby from? Who is the mother? Who is the father? So I don't think we're quite there yet.
The lineage?
I don't think we're quite there yet.
Okay, what's your opinion?
See, yeah. I'm open for surrogacy. And I think one of the issues with, you know, Nigerian women back home hiding, because we have a lot of women
they're doing it
in Nigeria that do it.
Yeah, they do surrogacy, they do adoption, but they tend to hide it.
But they hide it. And that's just that culture of shaming a woman just because they didn't see your protruding belly.
Yeah, they put a fake stomach.
So
they do it.
Some put
to the man, they do.
Yes, some do that.
They do. Your neighbor, you know,
serious.
your neighbor could actually be wearing a fake tummy.
Yeah,
because they don't want you.
We don't born, no.
Yes. Just because they don't want you to know that they're going to adopt a child or they're going to get a surrogate mother. They do it.
They do it.
The funniest thing is sometimes it's even illegal. They do it because they do it under the table. They don't get a registered. There's no procedures of doing the surrogacy because they don't even want the person to tell another person that they were your surrogate mom. They were
on the paper trail.
So it's even risky that way too. Like,
I feel like a lot of Africans back home don't understand the reason behind the surrogacy. Some women go for surrogacy because their bodies can't go through the whole birthing process. They can't keep a child. The child can't stay in their womb. Some people, they've maybe surpassed the age, the childbearing age, and they really want a child, you know? And I feel like as Africans back home need to be more sympathetic to people that can't have their own babies and forget that idea. That idea, the tradition is such a stronghold in their mind, you know. If, like you said, trying to prove your worth as a man or trying to prove your worth as a woman by going through all this traditional process. Meanwhile, there are other processes that have been made available for you to get what you want.
But even as we live in Canada, do you think African women or Nigerian women would start doing surrogacy here?
It would be easier here.
It would be easier.
There's a system that supports that, and nobody's going to look at you funny, you know. The only concern is where I think people might not be so open is if they still have strong roots home, like you still go home every December.
How do you tell your mother-in-law that you had the baby? Well, you could see they didn't see the pregnancy, but you could hear, at least when the surrogate mother is pregnant, you can say, oh, pregnant! when it's time for video call, you make sure it's restricted to that. I'm just kidding. You know, make sure it's just, you know, the head. 9-month baby is here. It doesn't matter how
we have a system in place that, you know, that can help you, that can help this process. So I would recommend, and I would advise ladies out there, have your babies, you know, go through surrogacy, ask questions, do your research. You know, these things have been put in place to help you, you know, to become a mother. So don't think about what anyone says.
And don't listen to, because also, I mean, if you're really rooted within your African community, wherever you are, you can still have one or two people in your group that have that mentality of the people back home. Please remove them from your friend circle. You don't need those people in your life.
Take them out.
Just please, your way out the door.
I think another reason is, you know, there's a culture in Nigeria where, you know, when it's time to share inheritance, it's only the kids
Amarachi, which inheritance are they sharing? Please.
But do you guys actually agree with that? That there are cultures in Nigeria where if you were not a legit child of the man, I'm not talking of the woman now, because a woman could have been in a different marriage and had a child outside, you know, have a child out with the other husband or wife or something, but when you bring that child in, that's not the man's child. It's totally different here because they tend to adopt the woman's kids and sometimes even bear the same surname or not. But you know, in Nigeria, when they're talking of inheritance, the man keeps his properties for his legit children first. So they tend to see that surrogacy thing as, this one is not part of the family first. Forgetting that it's his child. Surrogacy is his mentality.
Such a stronghold, like
and ignorance too.
Ignorance.
More than 90% of these people causing issues, they don't have a clue what surrogacy is all about.
Yes,
they're just sitting down in one corner and saying no, we will not accept it.
Surrogacy is even too far. have you not heard where it's just the male children that inherits the property?
Oh, okay, don't get me started.
So just imagine, imagine as a surrogate mom, you know, you have a girl. That's
then it's over.
That's over.
That was the contingency plan we were talking about in one of our episodes, where you have, you know, men like, oh, she doesn't have a male child for me, man. I've got to have another family somehow. I need a male child, right? So I would say be informed. And I think there's a movement in Nigeria now, though, promoting surrogacy.
Massive one.
Massive. There's an organization, I don't know so much about them, but they're all up in my face on social media.
Yes.
Like, we have people, there's a registered process, it's legal. You don't have to do this under the table. You don't have to pay a young girl who just got pregnant out of wedlock, that is not ready to have a child, and you tell her, okay, I'll buy your child. No, don't do that. So they've started like a very good movement, which I'm very, very proud of. You know, those things will they will eventually go away, and the reality of life will, you know, sink in. But the good thing is we enjoy free education to an extent in Canada, free healthcare. Have any of you thought about how much it costs to actually birth a child in Canada?
Don't get me started on that.
Like, would you have thought of Canada as a country that is easy? You know, in America, like Nigerians go to America a lot to have their kids. Do you think Canada, cost of having a child?
It is expensive.
It is expensive.
And the reason I know is, you know, when the whole Trump thing happened and they shut down tourism, birthing in the US, I had a lot of people calling me to say, okay, if I want to come have my baby. And when I started making phone calls, the cost varies depending on which hospital, then which cities. I found out that smaller cities are, you know, less expensive than if you're going to a place like Toronto. And I would say we're talking 20,000 or more. So it's a whole,
that's a whole lot.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot.
And that's natural birth, no complications.
No complications, no surgery.
And you're leaving the clinic the day you give birth. Yeah.
Wow. So if parental, you're spending extra nights then.
Money,
I got to know that it's really expensive. I know there was one of Victor's friends that wanted to have his wife give birth here. And Victor was like, I hope you know the free medical care they're talking about is not for visitors. It's not easy. It's big money. I don't think Canada is one country it's cheap to have. So we're very grateful that it's free, because it's a basic amenity, I say, to have, you know, a place where women can actually have their kids and be safe and be able to afford good food, because that free food. Let me tell you guys a story. So when I came to Canada as a student, right, I had a student, she came pregnant, she had a baby, her husband didn't live here. He came because she was about to have a baby. All the food they gave to her in the hospital, so he was very careful. Don't take this food, don't take that food, no, don't eat that food. I'm going to go buy you food. I cooked food at home. And he called my husband, like, I've told my wife, and, you know, my husband was like, no, it's free.
Oh my God.
Because you know what it takes to have 2 square meal in Nigeria in a hospital and have good food at that, you know? He was very afraid. He had that fear because he knows that to birth in Canada is expensive. The wife was a student, right? So he felt that, because she's not resident, she wouldn't get that free healthcare. He was already calculating, like, how much am I going to pay for this birth? And this woman is already eating. She's eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Didn't she just have a baby? Couldn't she, you know, stuff? So yeah, we're very grateful to the Canadian government for, you know, providing us with free health care. We're not taking it for granted. It's something. Let's go on a short break. We will